Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel at P English Literature. You're welcome back again. It's been a long while since I last uploaded a video here. It's been 3 weeks now after I was done with Charles Barker's book review, Fearless, Conquer the Demon of Mental Forgetry. So here again, I'm to make another video today, and I'm talking about overcoming criticism as a writer. How do you get to overcome criticism as a writer? How do you react to the whole lot of works and responses that you get on your work, on anything you write? Stay tuned as I bring to you how to overcome criticism as a writer. Yes, welcome back again to P English Literature. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I want to urge you to please click on the subscribe button over there so you can get notified anytime I release new videos. Thank you very much. So today's topic is overcoming criticism as a writer. Overcoming critic as a writer, overcoming your feedback, overcoming everything that has to do with everything you've written. One of the criticism rather is one of those things that a young or developing writer face or baffles with. So you going into the step, you knowing the basic step for you to overcome criticism would really help. Start by giving a kind of illustration of what criticism really is. I guess everybody really know what criticism is. Criticism is a sort of feedback that it seems to get from people read your work. It's an act of finding fault in someone's writing, act of finding error, act of finding anything that is not really well, act of finding something that is really amiss in whatsoever you've written. And this criticism is one of those things that baffles young writers. It's one of those challenges that young writers get to face. Being a young writer, or I would say for myself, that I remember when I was coming up as a young writer. I'm still a young writer anyway, but I remember when I was coming up as a young writer, this is one of those big problems that I got to face, because then I was very, very bad in English. My English is very, very poor, and I wasn't really trained in literature. I didn't even know all the kind of genre of literature, or like I do know it today. So it's very, very surging on me to really have someone who would really review my book, or someone who would really give me a say of whatsoever I've written down. So it just so very, very bad as a then. Now and then I can remember that I have a friend who was an author of 2 books as a then. She was an author of 2 books, so I thought that if I can always reach out to her, she will be of good impact. So I started by reaching out to her, even though then when I wrote, I didn't even know the kind of genre of literature that I write. So I remember at a particular time when I reached out to my friend, I said, "Oh, Leo, please, let me check this work. Let me check for the errors. Let me check if it's fine. Let me check for any kind of response that you feel would be good for it." Okay, and when she checked it, she was asking me that, "Oh, Peter, what genre of literature is this? I don't know what to classify it as." She was asking me if it's a poem or if it's an article, if it's a short story, and I said, "I don't even know." But as at then, I can remember she was just more or less like joking in a way, and she gone with it. So that was how I was able to really develop stand by stance, even though the whole response is just so bad that sometimes I get, "Oh, your English is very, very poor. Oh, you don't know how to fix sentence here. Oh, everything is not incoherent." So I have a lot of response, a lot of bad things that will really have dejected me or make me feel so bad about my writing. But one of those small things that really helped me was the fact that I knew I was poor in literature, so I had to take my time to really sit down, get myself right, listen to all my criticism, and I was able to build myself in it, even though those who critic in a very constructive way and the destructive way really helped me. And now you really know that we have the 2 types of criticism, which is a constructive one and a destructive one. Constructive one is the type that you get from people and they'll say, "Oh wow, it's fine, but this is what you should do. This is what you should do. This chapter should have come first than this, or this one should have come earlier than this. This paragraph should have moved to the next paragraph, and this one should have come up a little bit." So all those kind of things are a little bit or a way of constructive criticism, where it asks no kind of harsh words or severe words attached to it. But the second one is a destructive criticism, and this seems to be the greatest one that I feel that I always face at all time. So the destructive criticism is the one that would look at your work and say a lot of very bad things about it. "Oh, it's so chronic, it's so bad, it doesn't fit into literature, it's bad." So all those things are one of those great problems that young writers face today. As one of those big problems is very surging. A lot of people tend to stop writing based on the effect of criticism on the writing, and it is very, very devastating. That's why I'm bringing this video today, to show to you the way that you can really overcome and cope with the techniques of criticism, wherever way you receive it, either destructively or constructively. So I'm sharing with you these 4 basic techniques that I've written down in this book. It's actually my personal intuition, my perspective. Even though this video I'm making it for the very first time, I'm talking about criticism, I'm also open to criticism, and I'm gonna make it in form of a conversational video. So if you have anything you really want to say about it, if you have any addiction, if you have anything you want to say or you want to report, you can always leave it there in the comment section. I'll make sure that I reply to all your comment, and we can also from there get to know better about criticism and how you are able to overcome it as a writer. So the first thing I wrote in my list here is number 1, to know your critic. Know your critic, know or identify your critic. It's very important for you to know who your critic are. It's very important for you to know who your critic are. You don't expect someone who doesn't know anything about literature to come review your book or to come, giving you feedback on what you've written down on literature. And again, you really need to know the psychological position of anyone who is giving you feedback. You don't expect a woman who has been told that her son, or a woman who had just lost her son, who is a cultist, the other cultist member killed her son because her son is also a member of a cultism, to review your book on overcoming cultism. You wouldn't really expect a kind of good answers from her, because her response is really going to be snaring. So it's very important for you to recognize and identify your critic, who they are, the right position they are. You don't expect someone who hasn't written for 5, 6, 7 days to come and review your book or give you feedback on the book you've written about how to prepare shawarma. That's very funny, because the person is outrightly hungry and you come in with a book and say, oh please, I just wrote a book about how to prepare shawarma, could you please review it for me and give me your feedback about it? It's really going to be snare. They won't be happy reviewing your book. So it's very important for you to recognize and know and identify who your critic are. Most people are having a bad day. Most people are not even happy with what you're writing. Most people are even sad that you've even written something and you're giving it to them for them to review. So it's very important and very important for you to recognize a critic. Otherwise it's going to let you down, because critic really make writers down. When someone speaks about your book and say, oh, your book is bad, the sentences are not incoherent, what you've written down is absolutely rubbish, the sentences are not good, a lot of mistakes, a lot of errors, you'll be like, oh my god, when am I going to start, or when am I going to be that great author that is error free and all this kind of stuff. So it's very important for you to recognize and identify who your critic are, because a lot of people are psychologically disturbed, a lot of people are emotionally disturbed. So you won't expect someone who is depressed to come and review your book or give you a feedback on whatsoever you've written. That's number 1 point. Another thing again is to listen to your critic. Listen to your critic. Some people love turning deaf ears to whatsoever their critics say about it. Well, I know you really don't have to listen to everything that your critics say, but at least you have to listen so you can learn. Good. As I was going as a young writer, I faced a lot of critic, because I know I would face a lot of critic, and the critic that I faced in time past has really helped me to develop today as a good author of 2 books, Ecstasyofthedeadmailingcentre of the Dead and Faith in the Dungeon of Doom. Good one. So listen to your critic. It's very important for you to listen to your critic at all time. They might have some good information in whatsoever they've said. Someone just said something about your book, you don't really have to feel bad about it. You don't really have to nurture some sort of hatred against such persons. Well, a lot of people don't really know how to relate to their editors, their reviewers, their critic. Someone said something about your book, and let's take for instance, someone said that your book has a lot of errors. You don't even get to reach out to the person to know or to inquire what kind of error is contained in your book, and you take it to your heart, you take it personal, and you're like, oh, who does he think he is, or who does she think he is? Why would she say something about my book? Why would he said so about my book? So you really have to listen to your critic. You don't really have to take them as if they're enemies or they're really come and push your spirit down. It's really important for you to listen to your critic, because most of those things they will say, or part of those things that they've said, might have a good impact and might have some sort of advantage on you and your writing career. So that's number 2. Number 1 is to know your critic, identify them, know the psychological state and then the mental state, or so you won't be misled. The second one is to listen to your critic, and the third one here on the list is don't take it personal. You don't really have to take all your critic personal. Someone said something about this, you don't really have to take it personal. You don't have to take it on earth. You don't have to take it and go away with it, kind of expression in your face, blah 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 blah, moving up and down. So yeah, I will listen something about nation to my book. So you don't really have to take it personal. Don't take it to heart. Most people are having a bad day. Most people are not even happy about what you're writing. So you don't really have to take your critic personal. And most people say something out of jealousy, out of envy, out of all those kind of issues, etc., etc. So I wouldn't really have to delve much into that. But one thing you need to do is don't take your critic personal. Someone said this about your book, you don't really have to take it personal, because now people have different way of viewing things and different way of getting their things right. Another one is to learn from your mistakes. You really need to learn from your mistake. I think if you really want to go as a writer, it's very, very important for you to learn from your mistake, because you are always prone and susceptible to mistake. You can really write you can write a 500 pages book, and there won't be at least 5-page error or 3-page error or at least 2-page error. Everything you've written down might not be totally wholesome or totally coherent or totally fine or totally well refined. So you really need to learn from your mistake. Check back the mistake you made at the past and learn from it, and try as much as possible not to repeat such mistakes again. So all these 4 basic tips, there are more to this. Because if you even watch a lot of videos, people will tell you how they're able to overcome criticism, do this, do that. But at least these 4 things I've said here, I hope it find you well. That number 1, know your critic, identify them. Number 2, listen to your critic. You can listen to them, it's very good, have a kind of good impact on you. And don't take it personal, don't take it at heart, don't take everything they say at heart. Don't have to carry the expression on your face anytime you see them. You're always angry. How will you say such thing about my book? That's really not a good idea, and it wouldn't really help you. And again, you really have to learn from your mistake, learn from your past mistake, learn from whatsoever mistake you've made. Here's a short video very impactful. The 4 basic techniques you really need to know. Number 1 is to know and identify your critic. Know the kind of psychological state that it belongs to at that particular time that they're reviewing your book and they're criticizing your book. Another one is to listen to your critic. Try as much as possible to listen to what they're saying, even though you won't be going by all of their words. And again, don't take it personal, don't take it to heart, don't nurture any sort of hatred towards your critic, and try as much as possible to build a relationship between yourself and your critic if you've lost one. Again, it's to learn from your mistakes. Really need to learn from your mistake. Take your time out to learn from your mistake. Whoever learned from his or her mistake won't make such mistake again, or won't repeat such mistakes again. I so much love the time you've shared with me to watch my video on this short 4 basic skill for you to overcome criticism as a writer. I hope to see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. I would love to have your feedback in the comment section, and if you've not subscribed to this channel, I want to also urge you to please click on the subscribe button over there so you can get notified anytime I release new videos. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.